Hi everybody, I'm back. My name is Basil Racuk and I am a designer and craftsman out of San Francisco. I have a retail shop in Noe Valley, which is a neighborhood here in San Francisco where I sell the pieces that I make. You can see them kind of back behind me here. So I'm known for my leather work, but I also make apparel. That's a whole other thing that we'll talk about later. But I wanted to spend some time talking about what my brand means, as much for me as for whoever's watching this, because I feel like I kind of need to get clear on what it means as well. So I think we'll start with the story of how I started my brand. A little bit of background about me. I come from a pretty down the line design background where I worked for big companies in the design room, and over time kind of built up my career and had a nice good career going, which brings me to this one summer where I went to Greece and I got lost on an island in Greece, which was very dramatic, very cinematic, like really like an amazing backdrop for this brand germ, like where it started from, like a seed, I guess. Where what happened was I got lost on an island that had burned a few weeks prior to me going to visit this island. And so I went for this walk, which ended up being this kind of like vision quest because I got lost on the opposite side of the island. The sun was going down. I wasn't able to get back to the village. So I kind of had to like climb on these rocks, and it was hundreds of feet over the ocean, and it was like this Greek myth kind of thing. And as I was there struggling on these rocks, I was also thinking about like what had happened to my life. What if my life ended right now, what would I have to show for it? Obviously, besides having had wonderful family and friends, and a good life, but I was thinking about how I had strayed away from what I was interested in to begin with, which was design, and which was art, and which was kind of thinking about what it meant to create things, even though ironically my job was about creating things for mass consumption. It didn't. I wasn't using my hands. It didn't feel. There's a term called wet. It didn't feel like something that had any meaning or substance to it. So there I am, hundreds of feet in the air, scraggling on these rocks, and in that moment I thought, I'm going to go back home and I am going to start making stuff. The easiest way to have thought about that from a business perspective would have been to say, okay, I'm going to make a menswear line because that's the world I work in, I know it. And instead of doing that, I decided to make some leather pieces, mainly because I'd never made leather bags before. I'd always made clothing, and I'm pretty proficient with a sewing machine. So when I got home, I drafted some patterns based on some shapes that I found around bags that I thought were interesting, and also kind of in my space of classic. Like I like the idea of something that is going to last you a long time, is classic in appearance, but has something a little bit different. I mean, really, in essence, what we're all looking for, something classic with a twist that feels very personal to us. So I sourced my leathers, I had these patterns, I made stuff, and I was lucky enough to have someone in my life at the time who was an incredible PR person, was able to reach out to editors and get me amazing press coverage. So it was kind of like this immediate business. I was selling immediately. I was getting great press, and I thought, well, that was easy. So, I had this business with these 6 or 7 designs, and it was geared towards men's luxury leather. And then I found this amazing retailer who I was selling to exclusively. We had this relationship where he had prototypes, and he would sell off of these prototypes, and it was basically like something out of 1920, so it really wasn't anything to do with being online. It was really about this very wet idea of a customer coming and buying something bespoke where they could work directly with me and have these pieces made to order, which, by the way, is what I do now. So you can come into my shop now and you can buy one of these totes behind me, but have me make it in bright pink with a green handle, whatever it is that you want. So it really is retail in the way that it was 100 years ago. And I love that because having this retail space, it feels like a living room to me. People come in and they like to visit with me, and you can probably see over my shoulder here that I have a bird. So there's a lot of things in this space that feel very comforting and feel very grounding for people who come into the store. So it's very easy for me to be in the store and sell out of here and not really tell the story online because it's comfortable here. And personally, it's a nice pace. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about what it means to create a brand online. So the idea here is, how do I synthesize this experience, what I just explained to you, into a digital format so people can feel as comfortable with me online as one would coming into the store and talking with me directly and having Julio on their shoulder and choosing a skin to have me make a bag. So I just wanted to throw that out there, give you a little bit more context around where the brand is right now. I'll probably talk a lot more about what that means later, but hopefully this information gives you a little bit more context around who I am right now. Maybe in the next video, I'll talk some about what my inspirations are, and then obviously we'll get into, well, not obviously, but we'll get into how I make stuff, how I develop into designs, some my own, some that I'm seeing in the market, along with, what trends mean, how I engage some of them and how I discard others. There's a lot of stuff that goes into brand. And I hope we have a good time on this journey. I'm enjoying this so far. So any questions, leave them in the comments, subscribe. That's what I'm told to tell you guys to do. And talk with you later. Bye.